Here are my thoughts on Coastal Carolina as someone who dropped out after one semester. I wanted to make this video for a few reasons. First, I know that college decisions are coming up for high school seniors. Good luck, everyone. I hope that everything works out. But also, a bunch of people have been asking me why I didn't like it, why I dropped out, and plus, whenever I was looking into the school, I feel like there wasn't a lot of TikToks about it, and I like to get my research from TikTok, so I wanted to make a video about this. Here are all of the sections I'm going to talk about with their timestamps that y'all can skip to it, and then to put it in 2x speed, you can just hold down in one of the corners. Also, just keep in mind everyone's experiences and opinions are different. This is just mine, so take that as you will. First, I'm going to talk about academics. There isn't a ton I can say because I was only there for one semester. I only took prereq, but in my opinion, I feel like high school was harder. It all just kind of felt like review to me, and I felt like it was just busy work, which was very difficult for me because I feel like there wasn't really a point and I wasn't gaining anything out of it. So it kind of made it hard in the motivation and discipline realm to actually go to class, get my work done, because I just felt like I wasn't learning anything and there was no point. And then this is going to go with all universities, but research your professor on Rate My Professor or anything else. I got stuck with a really bad one, and whenever you have a bad one, there's nothing you can do. I'm not going to go much into this, but basically that teacher accused me of using AI multiple times. This was in English class, and they did it to a ton of people. I've talked to a bunch of people about this, and it was hard for me because I felt like I had no power, no help in the situation. It was my word against a bunch of people's. I feel like the university didn't really help me, and I almost ended up failing the class. Not like it mattered because I ended up dropping out anyway, but definitely very frustrating. So I do feel like if you have a problem, it is kind of hard to work that out, just because I feel like the university didn't really help in that situation. Another thing that kind of surprised me was I don't know, I just thought that college was you don't even have to go to class, as long as you end up with a good grade and do good on your finals, then you're good. But attendance counted a lot. Might be good, might be bad for some people, but it just depends on the teacher. All of my teachers were like this, but attendance really mattered to them. And then I went into CCU as a marine science major. I ended up changing to business because y'all know me. Why would I be that? And I will say their marine science program is amazing. They own their own island to do hands-on labs, but their marine science program is amazing. That's why a lot of people go there, and it is a great place if you're wanting to major in that. Next, we're going to talk about housing. I'm mainly just going to talk about what I was in because I don't know a bunch about all the other freshman housings, but there's a bunch of different ones. I was in Tradition, which is similar to DeCenzo, I never know how to say it. I loved the placement of Tradition Hall. It was close to everything. It was perfect. How it works is there's just a bunch of suites in there, and obviously this is different per building. But for Tradition, you have 9 other roommates. Y'all are in one little suite, and then there's 5 rooms, so you have one roommate, and then there's 10 people and then a little common area. The building was really nice. I think that Tradition is pretty new, so I would say it was very nice. Not really a ton of issues except for the bathroom. For whatever reason, you don't really get hot water in Tradition. I don't know why. I know that there's hot water in the other dorms, so I don't know why it's just a Tradition thing. But there's very, very rarely ever hot water, and we had a bunch of mold and mildew issues. Gross. But it definitely depends on who you live with. I love my roommates. I will say I'm an introvert, so it was a lot to get used to living with 9 other girls because I don't have any sisters or anything like that. But I love my roommates so much. I'm gonna go and visit them, so it definitely does depend on who you're living with, but that can definitely make or break your situation, just because living with 9 other girls or boys is a lot. But there's also a little market in the bottom of Tradition. Tradition is one of the most desired dorms for freshmen, and I will say it was very, very, very nice. I really liked it. But yeah, there's a little market where you can use either real money or dining dollars, and it has energy drinks, ramen, random snacks, and then you can also buy things using meal swipes. Very nice. So yeah, I really liked the living. This is tacking onto the living, I think. Parking. Freshmen can bring their cars. You do not have to pay. You can just sign a thing and you can bring your car. Sounds great, but it's not because there's no parking. Going places sounds amazing, but because of the parking, a 15-minute trip became an hour thing because there's a limited amount of spaces in the freshman parking area, and if you don't get a spot, then you have to go to the BBB lot, which you have to use a shuttle. You can't really walk. I mean, you can if you want to walk across the highway, and people are going feral over spots, fighting. Someone almost hit my car one time because they were weaving past me to get a spot that I was gonna get. So yeah, parking is awful. No parking anywhere, tickets all the time, so bad. Okay, next we're gonna talk about nightlife. I actually didn't know this until after I was committed, but CCU is known as a party school. I didn't know that, but it is. I don't really like to go out. I'll go out on occasions, but I don't really like to go out all the time. But if you ask, there is always going to be someone guaranteed to go out, even if it's a Wednesday. But despite it being a huge party school, I feel there's not a lot of places to go to. Miami, you know, you don't have a bunch of clubs and stuff. But there's 5 bars that people go to. You have Coop and Tav, which are right next to each other. With these two, if you are under 21, you have to pay a cover fee of $30. In my opinion, that is insane. The bars in Athens are not like that. Then you have Rowdy Rooster and Tongies. These are both 21 plus, I believe. I know Rowdy Rooster is. I'm not sure about Tongies, but I think it's 21 plus. And then there's 810, which is a bowling alley. People just mainly go for the bar though. And then, of course, you have the frats. Be careful going to the frats because some frats are not good frats. You always want to have someone by your side. Be careful what you're drinking, etc. I don't really have much to say on the nightlife just because I'm not a huge partier. But whenever I did go out, it was very fun and I did enjoy it. I did kind of get bored at the bars though. People would want to stay for 4 hours, but I would only stay until 1. But Coop and Tav are walkable from campus. I don't know about the other ones because, truth be told, I never went. But I heard from my roommates that they were very fun. Sorry, I just don't have a lot to say on that because I don't really like going out. But if you do like going out, you will love it. There's Mug Monday, $2 teal shots Tuesday, I think, wine Wednesday, and then the other days. But every day is themed, so you'll always have a chance to go out if you want. Okay, next, the area around the school. I really liked the area that it was in. It's Conway, which is very close to Myrtle Beach, so 15-20 minutes. I really liked that there were a lot of things to do in the area, lots of places to eat, lots of places to go to. And then you have 2 main beaches, literally 15-20 minutes there. The traffic is pretty bad, I will say, but that is typical in a water area. We mainly went to Surfside Beach, but then there's also Myrtle. Surfside is just nicer. Myrtle is dirty Myrtle, Plus, I feel there's a lot of shops. There's this one area, I forgot what it was called, but there's a Trader Joe's, there's a Marshall's, there's a Target, and then if you just go straight out of there, then you get to Sephora. So I really liked the area. There's a lot of things to do, which I love. But again, like I mentioned before, it is kind of a whole ordeal going places just because of the parking. But Coastal does have this thing called the Tealmobile that'll take you, I believe it's 1 mile or 2 outside of campus. So we would use it to go to El Patio, which is the local Mexican restaurant. Amazing. El Patio is where all the students go. It's amazing. But I do know a lot of people go to Coastal because of the beach and they're oh, it's only 15 minutes away. It is a little bit longer just because of traffic and then actually getting to your car and then afterwards, finding a parking spot, all of that. So it definitely isn't as easily accessible as it seems to be. But when you go, it is so much fun. Okay, now talking about clubs and stuff like that, I feel Coastal has a ton of clubs, tons of things for you to do. They have this thing called OK Day, which is on Penny Lawn. They have all these tables for all the clubs, sororities, fraternities, everything, so you can just walk around, get info on all of them. There was one club that I wanted to join and I went to all of the required things for it. I'm not gonna say what it was because I don't want to seem like I'm bashing on it because I loved everyone in the club. But they ended up cutting me from it because there wasn't enough room, which I didn't really understand because it is a beach-based club, it's on the beach, so there's infinite space. But I will say that was very disappointing to me. But there are tons of clubs, you name it, they have it. And then tagging on to that, all the resources that they offer, I'm very impressed with all the resources that they have. I was impressed with that whenever I toured. They have free counseling, all these free resources, very nice. I never utilize them, but I know that a bunch of people do and they love it. And then lastly, the food. Okay, the main dining hall for freshmen is Hicks. Hicks seems amazing. I thought I was gonna love the dining hall because I love to eat. Made me and my roommates sick a ton, and it just got really old. And then there's this place called Sino, which has Chick-fil-A, and then 3 other restaurants. It was fine. The quality was not dependable, and it was put into these locker things that took forever. And then there was the athletes dining hall, but it really only had a couple options, so if you didn't like it, then you were screwed. So I did not love the food. But I'm running out of time, but if y'all have any questions, comment them and I will answer them. I hope that this was very helpful, and even though I dropped out, I do love Coastal, and bye guys!